All right, so are gold IRAs worth their weight in gold? Let's find out.
I like it.
We're going deep on this one. Cracking open the Gold IRA performance analysis from Gold IRA Blueprint.
They really are the data wizards when it comes to this stuff.
And their 2024 report, it does not disappoint.
Yeah.
We're going to see how gold stacks up against the usual suspects, stocks, bonds, even going to look at real estate. And yeah, we're going there crypto too.
I cover all the bases, yeah.
Got it. But most importantly, we'll figure out if adding gold to your retirement plan, is it the right move or just shiny temptation?
Let's dig in.
So when we say gold IRA, I got to be honest, my first thought, it's less retirement account, more like pirate treasure chest overflowing with gold doubloons.
Right, totally.
Not exactly practical for planning your golden years.
Not unless you're planning on retiring on a desert island.
Seriously. So help us out here. What are we really talking about when we say gold IRA?
Okay, so imagine this. You've got your retirement account, right? But instead of it being filled with stocks or mutual funds, it's got actual physical gold.
Oh, really? Like you own that gold?
You own it outright. It's securely stored for you, but it's yours. That's a gold IRA at its core. And one of the big reasons people are so interested in them, especially these days, is the potential for, actually seeing some decent returns, especially with all the economic uncertainty swirling around.
Right, makes sense. The report actually highlighted that quite a bit, the potential upside in times like these. But how is that different from, say, just buying stock in a gold mining company?
Good question. Big difference. When you invest in a gold mining company, you're buying into their whole deal, successes, failures, the ups and downs of the market, all of it.
You're along for the ride.
Exactly. But with a gold IRA, you own the gold itself. It's got that intrinsic value. Doesn't really matter what the market does or how well a company performs. That gold is what it is.
Okay, so even if the market goes, I don't know, completely haywire, that gold in your IRA, it's still worth something. Just because it's, gold.
You got it. For centuries, people have seen gold as this safe haven asset. Think back to the 1970s in the U.S., for example. Inflation was going through the roof. The stock market, tanking. But gold, its value shot up, like quadrupled. It became a refuge for people trying to protect their money.
A financial insurance policy of sorts.
In a way, yeah.
Okay, I'm starting to see the appeal here, but how does a gold IRA actually stack up against other ways you could invest your money? Let's start with the classic stocks and bonds. How do they compare?
So the Gold IRA Blueprint analysis, they found that gold really does march to the beat of its own drum compared to stocks and bonds.
How so?
Well, stocks and bonds, they can be up one day, down the next, like a roller coaster,
Right.
But gold, it's more of a slow and steady kind of player. It's less about trying to make a killing overnight and more about that consistent long-term performance, especially when the economy gets a little rocky.
So less shooting for the moon, more like building that solid foundation for your retirement, right?
That's the idea.
So we're back and ready to unpack this whole gold IRA thing even more. But it can't just be about checking the price of gold every day, right? What else is going on?
You're hitting on a key point. It's bigger than just that daily price tag. Think of it this way. The price of gold, even in your IRA, it's part of this global dance of supply and demand.
Okay, I like where this is going.
So let's say, suddenly there's a huge surge in demand for gold from India. It's a big deal there, culturally and for investing.
Right, I've heard that.
That impacts your IRA's gold value, even if you're miles away.
Wow, that's wild. It's like this invisible thread connecting your retirement savings to, the entire world?
Exactly. And then on top of that, you've got those big picture economic forces at play. Gold IRA Blueprint, they really hammered this home. Broader economic conditions.
Yeah.
Huge impact on how gold performs.
So are you saying, if the news is all doom and gloom about inflation, maybe a recession on the horizon, that's when gold gets really interesting?
You're getting it. People get nervous. They want something reliable, something that's probably not going to tank when everything else is going haywire.
And that's where gold steps in. It's like that, what do they call it, a safe haven?
Spot on. When the economy feels shaky, gold tends to shine. And there's another layer to this whole thing. Interest rates.
Oh, here we go. Things are about to get complicated.
Not really. It's actually pretty straightforward. When interest rates are low, owning gold becomes even more attractive. Think about what you could be earning elsewhere, right?
Okay, so if your savings account is barely budging, might as well hold something like gold that at least has the potential to go up, especially with everything else so uncertain.
Now you're thinking, It's all a balancing act.
Right. Speaking of a balancing act, what about the political climate? That's going to factor in somehow, but it seems impossible to predict.
Yeah, that's the tricky one. It's not like you can check the forecast and see a 100% chance of political stability, right?
Sadly not, although that would be a cool app.
Sign me up for that weather app. But seriously, think about it. Anytime things get politically unstable, trade wars, sudden changes in power, even just countries not getting along, people freak out a little and they start looking for a safe place for their money.
Let me guess, they turn to gold.
Ding, ding, ding. We saw this just recently when, relatable geopolitical event from source, gold prices jumped because everyone wanted that security blanket.
It's almost like gold is this constant throughout history, no matter what craziness is going on in the world.
That's a really good way to put it. So even though it's hard to predict what's going to happen in the political arena, it definitely has a ripple effect on how gold performs.
Okay, so we've got these global forces at work, we've got economic conditions that are always in flux, and this whole layer of political uncertainty. And they're all pulling the strings of your gold IRA.
Pretty much. It's like a financial thriller. But instead of some secret agent, it's your retirement savings on the line.
I like it. But, like any good thriller, there's got to be a catch, right? So what about the potential downsides to a gold IRA? What are the risks people need to know?
You're right. Every investment has its risks. And gold, it's no different. Even though we've been talking about how stable it's been historically, it's not like its price is set in stone. It fluctuates.
So it's not like burying a treasure chest in your backyard and expecting it to magically be worth a fortune someday.
I wish. While gold has generally held its value over time, the price goes up, the price goes down. It happens. Remember those global forces and the economic conditions we talked about? Those can cause some choppiness in the gold market, which of course impacts your IRA too.
That makes sense. It's not a sure thing. You're not guaranteed to get rich quick, that's for sure. What else should people be thinking about when it comes to the potential downsides of a gold IRA?
Well, remember we talked about how with a gold IRA, you actually own that physical gold.
Right.
And it gets stored for you. That's security. It costs money. You're going to have storage fees, maintenance fees, all that fun stuff.
Right, because that gold's not just going to store itself. It's like having your own high security vault, and those aren't cheap.
You know it. And those fees, they can really vary. Depends on who you choose to hold your gold, the custodian, and how they store it.
Custodian. So you need a third party to literally hold on to your gold.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You're not just going to keep those gold bars under your mattress. And choosing the right custodian, it's a big deal. You want someone reputable, secure, with fees that make sense.
Sounds like a whole other deep dive waiting to happen, how to find the right custodian for your gold IRA.
Definitely something to consider. But let's get back to those risks. The last one, and it's the biggie, is liquidity. We touched on how gold is more liquid than, say, real estate, but
You can't exactly walk into a store and buy milk and eggs with a gold bar, right?
not yet anyway. So that would be pretty cool. Here's the thing. You own that physical gold, but selling it isn't like clicking sell on a stock app. Takes a bit longer, got to work with your custodian, get that money transferred.
So it's not like you can cash out immediately if you need to.
Exactly. This is why it's so important to think about your own situation, your own financial needs and goals. A gold IRA can be a great tool, for sure, but it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing.
All right, so let's take a step back here for a second and think about everything we've talked about when it comes to gold IRAs.
Yeah, good idea.
We started with the basics. What they are, how they work, why you might even consider having actual physical gold as part of your retirement plan.
Right. We covered a lot of ground.
We did. Compared gold to other investments, stocks, bonds, real estate, even crypto.
And don't forget about those external factors that could shake things up a bit, like global demand for gold, the economy deciding to throw a curveball.
Right, and that whole political landscape, which can be a wild card.
For sure. But the main takeaway, putting money in gold, even inside an IRA, it's not about getting rich quick. It's a long game.
Definitely not a get-rich-quick scheme. We also got real about the potential risks, the storage fees, the importance of choosing the right custodian, and the whole idea of liquidity. How easy is it to access your money if you need it?
Exactly. It's all connected.
It's like putting a puzzle together.
I like that analogy.
Each investment, a gold IRA included, it's like a piece of that puzzle. Some pieces might be perfect for your retirement picture, others maybe not so much.
It's all about finding what works for you.
Exactly. There's no right or wrong answer. It's about what's right for your situation. Your retirement strategy should be unique, just like you. So if this deep dive has you thinking about gold IRAs, maybe you're even a little intrigued, check out the Gold IRA Performance Analysis from Gold IRA Blueprint. It's a goldmine of information, pun intended. We've got a link for you in the show notes.
It's definitely worth a read if you want to go deeper.
It's all about arming yourself with knowledge, especially when it comes to your future.
Absolutely.
That's it for today's deep dive. Hope you enjoyed it.
Until next time.
Keep those questions coming, keep exploring those possibilities, and most importantly, keep those brains engaged. See you on the next one.